most importantly, I want to thank each of the passionate citizens, and especially the young people who have taken the time to reflect, to pray, and to engage with us this very eventful evening. It is a privilege to stand with this community as you convene a forum to help build cooperation, to foster inclusion, and to make your voices heard. And it is a particular honor to do so in the shadow of the historic sanctuary, where a young man of faith named Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. first found the voice that would stir millions to action, where he first articulated the vision that pushes us forward even today, and where he first bound himself to the enduring struggle for equal justice, a cause that he would pioneer, for which he would lay down his own life, and in which every successive generation must be both trained and invested. It was here at Ebenezer Baptist, well over half a century ago, that our nation's greatest advocate for justice, for peace, and for righteousness began the work that would help to transform this nation and usher in decades of extraordinary, once unimaginable progress. I stand here today as a result of the work that he did. Who could have imagined 50 years ago that a black man would be the Attorney General of the United States, serving a black man as president? It was here that Dr. King set out not merely to change our laws, to change the world, and to pull the country that he loved ever closer to its founding principles. And it was here, too, that he issued a prophetic warning that although brighter days undoubtedly lay ahead, progress would not come without hardship, without struggle, without setback, and without profound sacrifice. The winds, he told us, are going to blow. The storms of disappointment are coming. The agonies and the anguishes of life are coming. Dr. King knew then, as we know today, that with the strength conferred by abiding faith, together we can stand up amid the storms. By placing our trust in the divine and in one another, we can walk with our feet solid to the ground and our heads to the air. He assured us that, come what may, we need not feel discouraged or afraid. In fact, we need not fear any challenge that comes before us. But the struggle will continue. The storms will come. And the road ahead is anything but smooth or straight. As we look down that road tonight, it's clear that our nation continues to face persistent challenges, along with the countless opportunities that Dr. King helped make possible, but that he himself did not live to see. As we recommit ourselves to the cause with which he entrusted us, it's apparent that our nation's journey is not yet over. And so we return once more to this hallowed place to seek shelter from a terrible storm, a storm that I'm certain that we will weather so long as we continue to stand united and unafraid to address realities too long ignored. We're good at doing that in this country. We ignore hard truths. Now is not the time to do that. Like millions of Americans, I know many of you have spent the past few days with family members, friends, and loved ones, giving thanks for the blessings of the past year. Also mindful of recent news, the anguished emotions, and the images of the destruction that once again have focused our nation's attention on Ferguson, Missouri. While the grand jury proceeding in St. Louis County has concluded, I can report this evening that the Justice Department's investigation into the shooting death of Michael Brown, as well as our investigation into allegations of unconstitutional policing patterns or practices by the Ferguson Police Department, remain ongoing. These twin investigations have been rigorous, and they have been independent from the beginning. Now, while federal civil rights law imposes an extremely high legal burden in these cases, we have resisted prejudging the evidence or forming premature conclusions. And as these investigations proceed, I want to assure the American people that they will continue to be conducted thoroughly and in a timely manner, following the facts and the law wherever they may lead. We will see these investigations through to their appropriate conclusions so that we can continue to work with the community to restore trust, to rebuild understanding, and to foster renewed cooperation between law enforcement and the community members that law enforcement serves. Now, I, like you, understand that the need for this trust was made clear in the wake of the intense public reaction to last week's grand jury announcement. But the problems we must confront are not only found in Ferguson.
That's right.
The issues raised in Missouri are not unique to that state or to that small city. We are dealing with concerns that are truly national in scope and that threaten the entire nation. Broadly speaking, without mutual understanding between citizens whose rights must be respected, and law enforcement officers who make tremendous and often unheralded personal sacrifices every day to preserve public safety, without that kind of interaction, without that kind of trust, there can be no meaningful progress. Our police officers cannot be and cannot be seen as an occupying force disconnected to the communities that they serve. Bonds that have been broken must be restored. Bonds that never existed must be created. The issue is larger than just the police and the community. Our overall system of justice must be strengthened, and it must be made more fair. In this way, we can ensure faith in a justice system that lacks too much of it now. But without that deserved faith, without that reasoned belief, there can be no justice. This is not an unreasonable desire. It's a fundamental American right enshrined in our founding documents. There can be no question that Michael Brown's death was a tragedy. Any loss of life, and particularly the loss of someone so young, is heartrending, regardless of the circumstances. But in the months since this incident occurred, it has sparked a significant national conversation about the need to ensure confidence in the law enforcement and criminal justice processes. The rifts that this tragedy exposed in Ferguson and elsewhere must be addressed by all Americans and in a constructive manner. And it is deeply unfortunate that this vital, I'll tell you a little truth now, it's unfortunate that the vital conversation was interrupted and this young man's memory, I believe, dishonored by destruction and looting on the part of a relatively small criminal element. Now, Dr. King would be the first to remind us that acts of violence and destruction are not only contrary to the rule of law and the aims of public safety, they threaten to stifle important debate. As he said, adding deeper darkness to a night already devoid of stars. They actively impede social progress by drowning out the legitimate voices of those attempting to make themselves heard. And painfully, emotionally, they are not consistent with the wishes of Michael Brown's father, who asked that his son be remembered peacefully. Now, I have great respect for that man. I cannot begin to understand.
That's right.